Hello, Taurus. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Taurus is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free. It does not cost you anything. If there's something you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a timeless reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Taurus, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And the Nine of Cups is a pretty good way to start. This is happiness. This is the pursuit of happiness, right? This is feeling as if the life we are living is worthwhile, is pleasurable and happy and fun and blissful and joyous. Now, it doesn't mean that we're not going to experience any hardship or setbacks or pain or anything like this. It's not that we're never going to have another bad day. But there's an underlying joy in living, right? There's a certain shift in our consciousness. There's a shift in the way that we are perceiving our own lives, okay? And this is really good. This is really kind of living the dream life, right? Which does have its difficulties, right? Let's put that into some context. Let's see what's going on here. I think this is a really, really good way to start. But let's see what other cards we have. Ooh, an Eight of Pentacles. Wow. With the Nine of Cups, we have to make sure that we take care of it. If we want this to really be an ongoing enjoyment, if we want to keep living the dream, right, we've got to sustain it. We've got to nurture it. We've got to take care of it. We don't want to let it waste away. We don't want to let it wither, right? We don't want to let it die on the vine, right? We've got to put in our careful efforts here to sustain the life that we have. Okay. The Three of Pentacles, very good. The Star card, makes sense. Yes, the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles is, you've learned from the past, right? I think a lot has happened in your life that has given you a certain kind of maturity and wisdom. And you might be very, very young, but there's this very kind of an old soul quality about you. Yeah. We've got the Two of Wands. So I feel like there is a certain challenge that's approaching you. And this could be a very general, because it's only a Two of Wands, right? It doesn't really talk about a specific challenge. It's not detailed. It's not differentiated so much. It's just saying something was here, now something's over here. So it seems to be foretelling that there is a new challenge arising in your life. And well, we kind of know that, right? Because anytime we feel that we are in a good place, we know that there's going to be a challenge coming. Anytime we're in a challenge, we know that we're going to get to the good place, right? It's the yin and the yang of things. So we know that there is more challenges coming our way, but those seem to be easily resolved. Here's a Four of Wands. And there's our Devil energy. And there's our Four of Pentacles. And our Hierophant, which is, we've got to ring the bell, that is your power card, your superpower card. Anytime we get that card, we're going to ring the bell, because I feel like this is your true self now coming out on the tarot table to say hello. And I feel like this is your way of kind of living in accordance, in agreement, living in harmony with your true self, right? And it is within your power to sustain this life that you're building, okay? I feel like you're following your destiny. Also, Spirit's showing me a very small tattoo that you have. I think it's on the wrist. It kind of looks like it might be on the wrist, but it's a very small tattoo. And it's almost one that I feel like you thought about covering it up, but you've decided to not cover it up. I don't know if it's a person's name or if it's something you got kind of on a whim one time, but Spirit's showing me something on the wrist there. some sort of, I think it's a tattoo anyway. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is that infinite factor, the unknown factor. We're going to put Tiny Bob Ross right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, right? But it will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this program you feel like you know what that card is, I want you to put your prediction down in the comments, all right? We can do it together. It can be a group exercise, all right? Let's take a look around the room. 3 major arcana energies in a very nice kind of equilateral triangle, right? I think that's equilateral. Equal sides, right? We've got the Star, the Hierophant, and the Devil. And I think really your true self, basically your superpower right now is knowing your destiny and having this really insatiable desire to fulfill it, to manifest it. This devil energy is really ambitious, really enduring, can get through anything, right? So that's why I think we've got this, oh, there's a challenge, oh, there's a solution, because that devil is just not stopping. There's nothing that is going to stop you from getting to the top of this mountain, which kind of leads you to your best life, this kind of maturity. And I think part of it, too, is that you do understand what has happened to you in the past. You've learned your lessons well, as they say, right? And this is giving you this wisdom, this alignment with your destiny, with your path. I think you feel a self-illumination, but you also feel that the path itself is being illuminated. See, the star is both sides. It's coming in from above. It's illuminating us. It's washing over us, and it's also washing out onto the earth. It's showing us the path forward. And I think that because you have this alignment with your path, and you have this drive to achieve it, to live that path, right? We say it's an achievement, we say it's a goal or something, but I don't really look at it that way. I feel like this is the ambition, this is the stamina and the endurance to live the path, right? To live the path, not just walk the path to get to the end, to get the reward, to get the result. Your fate is the path itself, right? That is your fate. Your destiny, perhaps, is a destination, but your fate is the path itself, right? And so I think that Spirit's kind of illuminating both for you, the path and the end of the path, the destination of this path. But it is your hunger to live this path, right? That's putting you in such alignment with your true self. I think it really is the expression of your true self in the star and the devil energies. Okay, these are the two that are being emphasized by your very own self. Yeah, these two spiritual qualities, these spiritual virtues, let's say. We've got fire, fire. We've got a little bit of water here, and the water seems to be what's keeping everything together. The water is that which is kind of permeating every other card. And this is the pursuit of happiness, following your bliss. This is that underlying joy that we feel when we know that we are aligned with our path, that we are following the kind of the guidance of our true self, yeah, our higher self. So we've got the water energy. What we don't have is any air energy, but I like that. There's no swords here. We do have the star, and the star, let's remember, is the Aquarius card. So this is some air energy itself, right? But this is that spiritual enlightened insight and knowledge and wisdom, right? Receiving this energy. It's not so much the mind trying to sort through things, trying to differentiate things or solve problems. It's just kind of, it's an enlightenment in real time. It's something that it's just kind of, it just keeps occurring. It's not a one and a done kind of thing. When we're in alignment with our true self, then we are always illuminated. We are constantly seeing more and more and more and more of ourselves, and more of the path is being illuminated. The further we get along our path, the more the path opens up, and the more we understand the nature of this path, okay, and what it means for us. So there's not really a lot of the mental energy here, though I would say with the lack of swords cards, We should focus on our interpersonal relationships right now. And not only that, we've got the devil in the environment, right? And this card being in this position shows that we might be living a little bit of a solitary life right now. It's kind of one step away from having a hermit energy, right? Having these two together kind of are a little bit hermit, right? And then when we've got this, it's very understandable because you're living a spiritual life right now. You're on your spiritual quest. You're on your path. You're walking your fate. And that is always, by necessity, a very personal and private thing. Though we may walk the path with others, we may be locked arms with other people, but our path really is very unique, okay? And I think you understand that. Here's the 3 of Pentacles. Down beneath the surface, too, this is down under here. This is an underlying knowledge, understanding. It's a wisdom about how the world works. Yeah. You understand, how to put 2 pieces together and have them function and do something. You know how to build things, right? Not just in a physical way, though I think you're very handy that way too. Spirit's also telling me that you have a very distinct laugh, right? Or somebody important to you has a very, very kind of obvious laugh, like maybe it's very over the top, or it's kind of it sounds very different, very unique, right? I think that's part of this, to be honest. I think that's part of the devil energy. We'll get back to the 3. I think that's part of the devil energy too, because even though we are sort of in hermit mode a little bit, it seems like, I almost wonder about that mystery card, if that's going to be the hermit card. But with the devil energy, there is this, I think, almost a lack of companionship, or there is maybe not a lack. That might have been too harsh. I feel like there's not a focus on companionship right now, of any kind, friends, family. It just seems like we're doing things on our own, right? And so with this idea of laughter, I think we need to get back to that. Maybe the mystery card will be the Fool card. We need to get back to those interpersonal connections. We need to get back with our people that we can laugh with, as part of this path, as part of this destiny, okay? So I think that's a big focus here, and that might be kind of one of the challenges, especially with the 2 and the 4 of Wands. It seems like we're in this very productive kind of energy right now. Problem, and then we solve it and we keep going. Problem, then we solve it, then we keep going. And the 4 of Pentacles means the goat doesn't want to rest. So we get problem or challenge or obstacle, and we leap over it, we fix it, we solve it, and we keep going. And that's kind of the cycle that you've been in. Well, that doesn't really leave much room for refreshment, for enjoyment, for hanging out with friends and family and that sort of thing. So Spirit says you have a favorite coffee shop. Invite your friends over to that coffee shop, right? Spirit's telling me you have some friends in Paris, actually. Maybe it's Paris coffee, that sort of thing, that connection. But enjoy yourself. Enjoy your life. I mean, after all, we are talking about the 9 of Cups, and there should be a lot of laughter in here, right? When we're pursuing our happiness and we're following our bliss, it's not just all problem, solution, progress, problem, solution, progress. I mean, it is that, right? And this is a very, very nice configuration of cards. I've got to say, I like this. I like the problem, solution, and progress, right? But let's not forget that there are a lot of other cups here that we need to think about. The problem, solution, progress, I think is very satisfying to you, and that might be part of this bottom rung of the kind of the ambition and the success on the earthly plane. But the emotional and intellectual stuff, I think you need that too. You need to just feel good with your friends, and talk about the weather or sports or music and things. Listen to music, laugh, play games, right? Because there's a lot of other components to your best life, to your happy life, to living the dream, than just focusing on the productivity. Okay? And this could be productivity at work, but just generally, it's work progress. It's home, feeling like we always have to be making progress. See, the 9, we think the 9 is about progress. The 9 of Pentacles, yes, it's about the visible signs of progress. right? We can see that through every cycle, every effort, we're getting a little bit better, a little bit further down the road. But with the Nine of Cups, it's kind of different. This is almost like it's not a focus on progress, right? It's a focus on how we are experiencing the energy of the world, how it makes us feel, right? On every plane, on the physical, mental, emotional, and the spiritual, creative. Yeah. So anyway, back to the Three of Pentacles here. The Three of Pentacles now is, like I said, the understanding of how things work. So really this is the cycle of problem, solution, and progress. Problem, solution, and progress, right? So there is an emphasis on this cycle, I think. Okay, and well, we see a lot of Earth energy here anyway. Earth here, Earth here. Even with the major arcana, with the Hierophant and the Devil card, these are our Earth energies too. Capricorn, Taurus, right? Very earthy cards. With the Four of Pentacles here, I was going to say that this feels almost like a fear of standing still, you know? That we feel as if we're not moving, then we're not doing anything, you know? And so there is this this kind of suggestion here with this energy that we're not taking the time to stand still, you know? That we're not taking the time to enjoy what we're building and what we're creating and what we're doing, because there's this, again, the kind of problem, solution, progress attitude. And that's why the Four of Pentacles is here in the position of kind of what we don't want, or this is the obstacle, this is the fear, worry, and concern. And so we get caught up in this cycle sometimes, and we forget that we're trying to build a life, we're trying to experience a life and build a home and have all of these other components of our happiness. Right? So sometimes we have to get out of just that trio, that trilogy, that trinity of energy with the problem, solution, and progress, and just do nothing for a minute. And even in that moment of silence and stillness, we can experience the higher self here. Okay, and I think that's going to be a big step for you. That's going to be a major focus. I think that Spirit is kind of emphasizing that, right? Because of all of this Earth energy. And you know what? I even forgot about this with the Earth energy here. And this is hidden. And I think it was hidden from me for a reason, because this is exactly what we need to do. We need to nurture and take care of and cultivate the broader happiness in our life. It was hidden because we were focusing on problem, solution, progress. Problem, solution, progress, right? We were focusing on this. I totally forgot about the Eight of Pentacles. We've got to take care of the bigger picture, right? We're working in the garden, and we're getting out every weed. We're making sure everything gets planted, and we're doing all this stuff. And then we forget to look at the flowers or smell the flowers. We forget to, eat the vegetables that come off the vine, and then everything just kind of dies on the vine, right? It falls down and rots and whatever. So we need to remember the Eight of Pentacles, because that is not only taking care of your business, right? Or whatever this work is, which you are doing, but it's more so about taking care of all of those other aspects of this happy life, this dream life that we're trying to live. We've got to pay attention to, I think, the interpersonal stuff, the laughter, the fun and games sometimes. Everything seems very practical right now. We need to get maybe in touch with our artistic side. We need to strengthen those bonds between our loved ones. Yeah, our pets, our plants, our people. And I think that, you've got all of the really, really great components of this Nine of Cups here. But don't neglect any one of these components. I think there's been an emphasis on the physical kind of earthly productivity, right? But there's a lot more to this. Okay, now let's go up here to the Queen of of Pentacles for a minute, because this is the reflection on the past. This is us looking back at where we have been. Okay? Spirit's also telling me that there is some sort of weird synchronicity involved with how you got your current work, how you came about doing what you're doing right now. And I don't know what that is. I know it's problem, solution, and progress, but I don't know what that is. Spirit's telling me there's some sort of weird fluke or a synchronicity or something strange surrounding how you came about doing this work that you're doing, right? And maybe you're retired, maybe you're in school, but doing that, whatever that work is school work, the focus of your efforts in retirement, or the career, or the job, or whatever, That's what work means to me, anyway. Reflect on that. I think Spirit is telling us that there's something we have to pay attention to from our past. And maybe the Queen of Pentacles is looking down at this star energy and remembering where this kind of began, or what your first memories of this spiritual connection were. When did you first start feeling Spirit was present in your life? When did you start aspiring to have that spiritual experience? Yeah. Because I think that if we reconnect with that, with our own origin story, then it'll help us to incorporate more of that into our present work. Okay, because I think maybe we need a little bit more of that. Maybe the star is too far back here. It's not present in all of this earth energy. And really, even the Four of Wands is very, very earthy energy. It's the fire energy that now has taken form. It is temporary form. It's a temporary stability, just as this one is. And see, that's kind of the secret of this Four of Pentacles, and that it's in the position of our fear, kind of, right? We don't want to stop. We feel like if we stand still, then we're gonna backtrack or backslide, or we're gonna fail to make progress, right? Because we feel that maybe if we stop, it's gonna be a permanent stop. If we are still, it's gonna be permanent stillness, right? So we feel we keep moving. But what we have to know about the Four of any suit, especially the Four of Pentacles, is that it is always subject to change. Okay, subject to change. I feel like you're somebody that kind of likes things to be how they are. You like the routine of, problem, solution, progress. It's a formula that works for us. And so everything is just, that's my day. I'm just, what's the problem? What's the challenge of today? I'm going to solve it, and that's going to be progress for the day. Then I'll feel like I have succeeded for the day, But we feel like if we're focused on other things, friends, family, going to the theater or whatever, that we are not making progress. And so we feel like we've come to a stop. But let's remember that this is not a stop. Okay? This is a necessary part of the whole picture, right? This is us really nurturing the life that we have, nurturing the overall fate that the path that we're walking. Yeah. So anyway, the Queen of Pentacles has a lot of wisdom that's been built up over the years. You've learned your lessons well, like I said. And this, let's apply this. Let's apply the lessons that we've perhaps this is a lesson that we're learning now, about this focus on this earthy stuff, a focus on perhaps the material progress. And maybe we're kind of forgetting this Eight of Pentacles a little bit, that we have to nurture the spiritual life. We have to nurture our emotional life. We have to take care of our mental life. We have to take care of our relationships. Everything needs a little bit of nurturing, And maybe this is the lesson that we need to learn right now. So I think Spirit is really, I think this is really important for you to pay attention to this particular message, because your higher self depends on it, right? Your future self depends on this. And the spiritual energy is always present, and I think maybe we have to reorient ourselves to it. We have to remember where it came from, where it began. We have to make sure that we feel it permeating our life and extend it not only into our physical ambitions, but into our interpersonal relationships and our creative relationships. And it doesn't even have to be And it doesn't mean that you have to go out and socialize. It just means even just being with yourself, communing with yourself and that relationship with your higher self, the relationship with your lower self. How often do we forget about that when we're focused? Maybe that's the message. Now it's becoming a little bit more clear. Perhaps there is this focus on the higher self, that we are forgetting to nurture the lower self, that we're forgetting to, we're busy with this, maybe these are spiritual ambitions, problem, solution, progress, right? Or maybe it's career, maybe it's, some kind of work or whatever it is you're doing. But maybe we're not putting enough tender, loving care into our own physical existence. Yes, we're doing problem, solution, and progress in our lives, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we're taking care of ourselves, that we're taking care of our bodies, right? So maybe the Eight of Pentacles is saying we need to be a little bit more delicate and a little bit more focused on our physical body, but also our mental and emotional bodies. You need to laugh. You need to enjoy music or, whatever it is that you do for pleasure, right? Because sometimes we're so focused on the higher that we forget about what's down here. We forget about, the lower. And I don't think it's higher and lower, like there's some sort of a hierarchy or a value to it, right? We say it's the lower self. It makes it feel like it's less important. And maybe that's part of our language. That's the vernacular, but I think it's misleading. We say the higher self, it's so much superior to me. I mean, yes, but also no. And so I think we have to put focus on the personality, our own personal soul, as well as our true self, our spiritual self, right? Because really the true self, it's the whole thing. It's the whole package. One cannot really exist without the other, right? So we need to focus on our human qualities as well as our kind of spiritual identity, if you want to call it that. Okay. So I think we've got some very good energy here. I really think this is quite nice. I think the Hierophant at the end here, this is a message coming from your true self. And I like to say true self rather than higher self, because I'm trying to get out of that paradigm of one being better than the other, or one being more important. We can look at the true self as the higher spiritual being, as vastly superior to our human personality. But that doesn't mean that we need to push that human personality down, because this is where most of us exist and live most of our lives, is in our human kind of personality. The more and more we connect with the divine, the more it sometimes feels like we have to push the human part down. But I think everybody's got to come up together, right? And that's the real meaning of some of these cards, is bringing everybody up together in ourselves, the higher self and lower self, the true self and the human self, the personality and the spiritual identity, the soul and the spirit, so to speak. And maybe this is the Trinity that we're really trying to understand, is spirit, soul, and body, right? The body contains the spirit, or the body contains the soul contains the spirit, right? Kind of layers of an onion in a way. And when we look at it that way, we realize that we need all of these layers. We are the vessel, and so a lot of the time we forget about our physical bodies. And maybe the emphasis on a lot of this earth energy here is the idea that we've got to listen to our bodies again. How is it that you're feeling right now? Where are you holding tension? What's going on with your body? We got to check in with our flesh sometimes. I've been recommending the Yoga Nidra a lot, which is just kind of this mental exercise of checking in with every part of our body. Just put your consciousness everywhere. Start from your head and work your way down to your toes, depending on how much time you have. And just check in with your body. Is there tension there? Let's look at the mystery card. This is either Fool, this is Six of Cups, this is Ace of Swords. If you have a prediction, I want you to put it down in the comments. Those are my feelings about it. Okay? Let's see. Oh, it's a 7 of Wands. It's a 7 of Wands. It may feel, and this is probably part of a lot of what we're talking about. It may feel like you are alone, and so that you have to then fight all these problems yourself. It may feel like you are kind of up against the world, and you've got no allies next to you. And so that's the other side of the coin, because I said, look, our spiritual path, our fate is really something personal, something that we have to do alone. Just by definition, it's something that is individual and unique. But we can still be arm in arm with our allies, with our friends, with our family, our loved ones. You know, our fellow humans, our fellow sufferers, our pets, our plants too. But I think maybe right now you're kind of alone on the top of the hill fighting all these battles yourself. But you don't need to be. Okay? And I think sometimes it really feels like it's us against the world. Well, maybe we'll bring the world onto our side, or we'll go on the side of the world, and we'll all be on the same team, you know? But I feel like sometimes life can get this way, especially if we are already caught up in that cycle of problem, solution, progress, problem, solution, progress. You know, then we're kind of looking at every day like we're waking up and it's just, as soon as I wake up, I got to pick up my weapon and fight, you know? And so there's no time. If you're on this hill, if you're feeling this, I mean, just look at that person up there. If you're feeling this way, it doesn't really seem like an option to sit down and have a cup of tea, or to sit down and laugh with your friends, or put on your favorite Tool record and put the headphones on and spiral out, right? It doesn't seem practical in this moment. Could you imagine? You don't think you'd be able to enjoy it. So I think we really need to focus on some of these other things and realize this. This is something very important, that if we're going through life with this energy, we've got to do something about it. Okay? What we're going to do about it is an extended reading. And if you want to watch the extended, there is a link up top. There is one down below. New readings for Taurus every Monday and Friday. 6 a.m. Chicago time. I'm here every day. You can come see me again tomorrow. We'll talk again. Don't forget, these readings are timeless, which means that there is no time frame on them. Whenever you are watching this, this is when you are meant to see it, and this is when this energy is now active and present, and these messages are for you. Okay? If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It costs nothing to subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. Let me know how you're doing. Say hello to the cat as she is saying hello to you. I want you to know, Taurus, that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.